You wake up to the sound of boots, not birds, not cars, not your phone. Boots, marching in rhythm on the street below your window. A loudspeaker crackles to life. A harsh voice blaring today's slogans, today's orders. Today's reminder of who won the war. You pull back the curtain. Red banners hang from every building. Armored vehicles idle at an intersection. The year is 1960. But this is not the capital of a free Europe. This is a city in a continent ruled by a victorious German Reich. There is no NATO, no European Union, no divided Germany. In this world, Germany did not lose the Second World War. In our timeline, Nazi Germany was pushed back on every front. Britain held out. The Soviet Union survived. The United States joined. By 1945, Germany's leader was dead and Berlin was in ruins. But history didn't have to go that way. In 1940, after the fall of France, Britain stands alone. In our world, Churchill refuses to surrender. In this timeline, the government gives in. A peace faction wins. To save the empire, Britain signs an armistice with Germany. No long battle of Britain. No defiant speeches. London accepts German dominance on the continent in exchange for keeping its colonies. With Britain neutralized, there is no D-Day and no Allied invasion of France. Western Europe hardens into a German fortress. The Atlantic becomes a hunting ground for U-boats and patrol aircraft. The United States can send supplies, but not armies. When Germany turns east in 1941, it does so with a safer back. In this alternate timeline, some of the worst strategic mistakes are avoided. The leadership focuses on oil and logistics. They push toward the Caucasus, cut into Soviet supply lines and concentrate their forces. The Soviet Union still fights. Brutal and desperate, but without pressure from the West and without the promise of a second front. The Red Army stands alone. Cities fall. Territories are carved up. Eventually, a peace is forced, if you can call it that. A huge slice of Eastern Europe and Western Soviet territory ends up occupied or turned into weak buffer states. The German Reich rules. Continental Empire. America still fights Japan. The atomic bomb is still built. But with Britain out of the war early and no friendly base in Europe, there is little will to launch a massive liberation. The United States emerges as a superpower staring across the ocean at a victorious dictatorship it cannot easily remove. You step away from the window. The radio switches on at the top of the hour. The news isn't really news, it is a list. New highways in the east, new settlement zones, new decrees against enemies of order, somewhere between the lines. You hear a brief mention of unrest in a distant province, then the announcer moves on. You have learned not to ask what happened to the people who vanished in the first decades after the war. Their names were erased from textbooks, their neighborhoods renamed. The word Holocaust was never printed. Whole chapters of humanity have been quietly deleted in our timeline. The defeat of Nazi Germany exposed its crimes. Camps were opened. Survivors testified. Trials were held. Humanity looked into the abyss and named it. Here, there was no Nuremberg, no liberation. The system of persecution did not stop in 1945. It adapted and hardened. Vast regions in the east turned into colonial zones ruled by fear and forced labor. Cultures were crushed on paper and in practice, then labeled pacified on the surface. The streets look orderly. Trains arrive on time. Factories run. Jet planes roar overhead. Rockets are tested. Not to carry explorers into space, but to carry warheads further. Science bends toward control. Weapons, surveillance, propaganda. What we know as a space race becomes a slow, paranoid contest between the Reich and a distant. Where United States, there is no open Cold War of rival systems debating in public. There is a long stare across oceans, two armed giants, both afraid of the other's next move. But only one of them allows real opposition. The other lives on fear and silence. Later that day, you walk through the city. Posters tell you what to be proud of, what to hate, who to trust. History is not something people discuss. It is something recited. In school, children learn that the war was necessary, that the old world was weak, that the new order brought peace. There are no lessons about those who were killed to build it. In our timeline, the defeat of Nazi Germany did not fix the world, but it drew a line. It told future generations that this ideology and this level of cruelty could not be allowed to stand. In the world where Germany wins, that line is never drawn. So what does it really mean to us? What if Germany had won the Second World War? It is not just about different borders or flags. It is about a world where an ideology built on hatred and hierarchy defines normal for decades. Where entire peoples are not only murdered, but erased from memory. Where the future is not a shared argument, but a script written by a few men and enforced at gunpoint. You stand once more at your window as night falls. The loudspeakers go quiet. The marching fades. The banners still hang in the cold evening air. For a moment, you imagine another 1961 where those banners came down in 1945. Where the crimes they hid were dragged into the light. Where the words never again actually mean something. And then you understand. We don't explore this what if to admire it. We explore it to remember. What was at stake and how much worse our imperfect world could have been. If this alternate timeline made you think, don't let it end here. Hit like, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments which what if you want to explore next.